Welcome to Hazumino High, where the student council is rewriting the rules of engagement. The president slams his agenda on the table. He realizes the game is rigged. Girls get Valentine's Day, but the boys are left hanging? Nah, he demands equal rights for the homies. He launches the Confession Festival. It's loud, it's public, and it's the perfect place to either find true love or get absolutely roasted in front of the entire school. Enter Maru Sayaru. 17 years on this planet. Girlfriend count? A solid 0. He stares at the wall, realizing his stats are looking tragic. For a second, he tries to cope. He imagines the classic anime tropes, the accidental fall, the shy girl confessing to him, main character syndrome. He snaps out of it. Reality check, he screams at his own brain. Waiting for a miracle is for NPCs. If he wants the girl, he has to go out there and take the W himself. Lunchtime at Hazumino High. Tetsuhiko drops a tactical nuke on the vibe. He asks if Maru is locking in for the Confession Festival. Maru freezes. His brain buffers like a broken NPC. He has zero clue what is happening. Tetsuhiko ignores the lag. He explains the meta. This is the one day the school mass produces couples like a factory. He leans in close. The pressure is on. He tells Maru to stop stalling and pull the trigger. He knows Maru is down bad for a specific girl. He doesn't drop the name, but the air gets heavy. You could cut the tension with a knife. Maru's heart rate spikes to 120. Maru tests the waters. He calls out to Kachi Shirokusa. She stops cold. She hits him with the, "Is this a business inquiry?" stare. It is absolute zero warmth. She looks at him like he is a pop-up ad. There she is, Kachi Shirokusa, the definition of high-tier loot. Glossy hair, perfect uniform, and the tragic title of Maru Suaharu's first love. She is the final boss of high school crushes. Maru panics. He screams her name, then realizes he has no plan. He aborts the mission with a pathetic excuse. Smooth operator? No. This guy is a glitch in the system. The side characters have zero chill. A random NPC in a vest starts loudly debating Kachi's measurements in the courtyard. Bro is playing a dangerous game. He is asking to get deleted. Turns out she is featured in a modeling magazine. The boys are losing their minds. They are praying for some fan service. The thirst in the air is thick enough to chew on. Maru steps in. He admits he is a man of culture. He gets the hype, but he draws the line at roasting her to her face. He tries to play the white knight while holding on to his man card. It is a delicate balance. Too late. Kachi descends like a raid boss. She presents two options. Option A, get sent to the lobby right now. Option B, go to jail. She is not joking. Her eyes are dead serious. Tetsuhiko pulls Maru aside for a reality check. Kachi is not just hot, she is an award-winning author. She is famous, eccentric, and completely out of his league. She is playing 4D chess while Maru is playing tic-tac-toe. He hits him with the hard truth. You are aiming for the moon with a slingshot, buddy. Just give up. Maru looks like he just took a critical hit to the gut, HP critical. Maru refuses to fold. He claims they have a special connection. He starts yapping about a moment they shared last winter at the riverbank. Cue the flashback filter. He remembers her smiling at him once. In his head, that one smile equals a marriage proposal. He swears the vibes are different when they are alone. Classic main character syndrome. Tetsuhiko roasts him instantly. So, you think she fell for you because she smiled? Delusion level 100. Maru tries to defend his honor, but they get interrupted. The rumor mill is spinning. People are whispering that the famous author Kachi has a secret lover, Maru. Kachi looks like she wants to delete the entire school from the server. But Maru? He takes her rage as passion. He clenches his fist. He is convinced she is waiting for him to make a move. He is officially entering the Confession Festival. It is win or get game ended. Maru sits in class, totally zoning out. He is already picking out curtains for his imaginary wedding with Shirokusa. The man is lost in the sauce, fantasizing about the Confession Festival like it is a done deal. Tetsuhiko snaps him back to reality. He tells Maru to stop chasing the impossible dream and just settle for the childhood friend DLC, Kuro. Maru freezes. That name is forbidden. He rejects the idea instantly. Confessing to Kuro right now would be a disaster. He runs the simulation in his head and realizes the timing is absolute trash. But he cannot deny the stats. She is popular, cute, and has maxed out communication skills. If they were not friends, she would be completely out of his league. Speak of the devil, she spawns in right behind him. Shida Kuroha, the childhood friend, has entered the chat, and she heard every single word. Look at that smile. That is the face of a girl who knows she owns him. Absolute waifu material. She leans in way too close, invading his personal space like it is free real estate. She loves seeing him squirm. She hits him with the big sister card just to mess with his head. Maru tries to fight back, roasting her height, but it is no use. He claims he is independent, but the background NPCs are starting to get jealous. The class turns into a mob. They corner him, threatening to send him to the Shadow Realm for hoarding the popular girl. The jealousy is over 9,000. Maru feels the aggro in the room rising. Kuroha notices he is sweating bullets and pushes him to spill the tea, but he tries to play it cool. He refuses to break. He calls for a courtroom trial to prove his innocence, but he is fighting a losing battle against her charm. Then she drops the nuke. She asks if he regrets rejecting her in the past. She brings up the old receipts right in front of the studio audience. The mob goes wild. They demand an explanation. Tetsuhiko tries to tank the aggro, but the pressure is crushing them. Maru admits it. He regrets it. Kuroha sees her opening and doubles down. Then go out with me now. She traps him in 4K. Suddenly, some random goon calls for a crowbar. Maru's survival instinct kicks in faster than light speed. He hits the deck with a perfect Ogiza. Zero hesitation. He screams that crowbars hurt like crazy. This man has trauma. Even Kuroha is shocked by how fast he folded. The mob is literally bringing a hammer now. Kuroha steps up. She unleashes her alpha aura and tells the NPCs to back off. She saves his skin, but now she wants an answer. They move to the lockers. Maru does not fold this time. He looks her in the eye and rejects her again. He says she is cute, but the timing is just wrong. He friend-zones her with maximum respect. Kuroha takes it silently, then hugs him. She just needs a recharge. A tender moment. Psych. She breaks away and yells, "Just kidding!" She tells the whole school it was a punishment game for a lost bet. She played him like a fiddle. Maru's soul leaves his body. He is mortified. The audience gets bored and leaves, demanding a refund for the drama. She mocks him for panicking, and he tries to give her a noogie in retaliation. This is their true dynamic, just two gremlins pranking each other since childhood. Maru realizes this toxic banter fits them better than romance. He is relieved, because the truth is, the one he actually likes is someone else entirely. But reality comes swinging in with a steel chair. The girls corner Shirokusa for the tea, and she admits it. She confessed at the sea exactly 1 week ago. Maru's brain goes blue, screen of death. He refuses to process the data. Then Tetsuhiko drops the nuke. She is dating Abe Senpai, the famous actor. Maru just got power crept by a literal celebrity. He hits the eject button. No words, just a full sprint out of the lobby. His friends watch the dust settle. Kuroha whispers the darkest line of the series. Love isn't sweet, it is straight up poison. She hits him with a poor Haru that feels way too condescending, because feelings are like malware. It invades your system silently, and by the time you check the logs, your heart is already deleted. We kick things off at the bridge of broken dreams. Maru is crouching in the dirt, absolutely down bad, wondering how his life turned into such a dumpster fire. Here is the kicker. He just saw Shirokusa, the love of his life, walking with Abe, the third-year Chad. The rumor mill isn't just spinning, it is on fire. They are definitely dating. Maru does not handle the news with dignity. He dissolves into a puddle of tears instantly, crying like he just dropped his ice cream. His brain breaks. He starts ranting about the cosmic injustice of hot people living on easy mode while he suffers in the trenches. He is blaming the entire world for this massive L. Kuroha catches him mid-breakdown. She looks at him with pure pity, dropping a "you poor thing" that hits harder than a physical punch. He tries to tell her to get lost, but she goes for the jugular, asking if he got rejected. Maru screams a denial so fast it basically confirms she is right. She ignores his cap. She drops her bag and sits right behind him, back to back. She isn't going anywhere. He tries one last weak protest, telling her to stay away, but his voice cracks. Deep down, he knows he desperately needs the emotional support. Let's rewind the tape to the scene of the crime. 1 month ago, Kuroha put her heart on the chopping block. Back then, Haru was too dense to see it, but looking in the rearview mirror, he realizes that wasn't a bit. That was the real deal. But he absolutely fumbled the bag. He rejected the ride-or-die girl to chase the toxic one, and now the guilt is chewing on his insides like a termite. He yells at her to beat it, terrified that if they lock eyes for 1 more second, his resolve is going to shatter like glass and he will start begging for emotional support. Kuroha ignores the tantrum and drops a tactical nuke of a hypothetical. What if they could hit Ctrl-Z and reset the server to exactly 1 month ago? Haru's brain blue screens. 1 month ago puts them exactly 5 minutes after her confession. She is literally trying to reload an old save file to fix a corrupted run. The math is messy. He rejected Kuroha for Shirokusa, got rejected by Shirokusa, and now he is sitting at a 0% win rate. She flashes a smile and holds up her hand. She is giving him exactly 5 seconds to warp back in time. 5. Haru runs the numbers. If he confesses right now, it is an instant victory royale. 4. He tries to gaslight himself into thinking they are just homies. Nothing more. 3. But let's be real, he knows she is absolute wifey material. 2. A guaranteed happy ending is staring him right in the face like a legendary loot box. 1. He winds up for the Grand Slam confession, ready to seal the deal. He admits it to himself. She was his first love. The wind kicks up and the atmosphere is absolutely perfect. And then she yanks the rug out from under him. Just kidding. Bro got played like a cheap fiddle. She tries to laugh it off as a summer vibe check, claiming she just wanted a temporary boyfriend for vacation season. But Haru flips the script. He thanks her, then hits her with the cold, hard truth. Her poker face is terrible, and her actions are screaming way louder than her words. Haru keeps the verbal assault going and locks his sights on Kuroha. He dismantles her entire responsible big sister persona piece by piece. He calls it out for what it is, a cheap disguise for a girl who is actually desperate to be the one getting spoiled for a change. That red is so surgical it practically fries her circuit board. She turns into a stuttering mess. Meanwhile, Haru, being the absolute densest protagonist in existence, assumes he offended her. He starts awkwardly backtracking like he just stepped on a landmine. She starts vibrating like a Nokia on silent mode. Haru just stares at her, completely failing to realize he just unlocked a secret romance route. The density on this guy is denser than a black hole. She decides to shut him up with a grapple move, locking him in a tight hug from behind. Haru instantly panics about how sweaty he is, but she ignores the hygiene check. She tells him that even if he is a total moron, his kindness is the real deal. The atmosphere shifts to critical mass as she leans down, planting a soft kiss right on the top of his head. She does not stutter this time. She drops the 3 words every childhood friend character dreams of saying. She anchors him down, ordering him to quit the tough guy act and just let the waterworks flow. Haru finally breaks. He admits he really thought he had a shot with Kachi, and he lets the heartbreak hit him like a freight train. But Kuroha is right there to pick up the pieces. She assures him that Kachi is the one who took the massive L by fumbling a guy like him. Haru is absolutely down bad. Even after getting rejected, he is sitting by the river asking Kuroha for life advice like a lost puppy. He is analyzing his own failure, wondering if begging might actually work. Kuroha is not having any of it. She analyzes the power dynamics and calls out the disrespect. Kachi played with his feelings just to discard him the second her first choice showed up. She decides to use shock therapy. She forces him to visualize the worst possible scenario involving his crush and that other guy, aiming to break his delusion. The mental image is 4K Ultra HD nightmare fuel. Kachi is all over Abe, whispering that only he gets access to the premium fan service. It is a direct hit to his ego. That snaps something inside him. No more nice guy, he screams into the void, swearing he will never forgive the disrespect. It is officially a villain origin story. Kuroha drops the solution right in his lap. She figures if it hurts this bad, there is only one way to fix it. Absolute cold-blooded revenge. Haru wipes the tears from his eyes. The sadness is fading, replaced by something much darker and way more useful. He realizes sadness is just wasted energy. Judge Kuroha presides over the court of public opinion. She looks at the evidence and asks the jury, are those two guilty or innocent? Haru does not even hesitate. He calculates the emotional damage, smirks, and slams the gavel down. Guilty! The verdict is in, and it is final. They seal the pact right there in the grass. Kuroha promises to get her hands dirty, no matter how low they have to sink to win. Strategy over morality. Haru is locked in. He vows to pay back every ounce of humiliation with interest. The nice guy mask is fully off, and the strategist is online. Here is a little lore drop. People think Kuroha means dark wings, like she is some kind of edgy fallen angel. But it actually comes from the clover. Cute, right? It usually means good fortune or a sweet promise, but there is a secret menu item on that list. It also stands for pure, unadulterated revenge. Foreshadowing level 100. The duo strides off into the sunset. It is the start of their first love revenge tour. If you thought this was a romance, you are wrong. It is a war story. Kachi Shirokusa wakes up and immediately chooses violence. She snatches the study notes with zero hesitation, ripping them into absolute confetti right in the other girl's face. No mercy. She screams that the free ride is over, then hits her with a brutal reality check. She asks if she is just a parasite living off everyone else. That is emotional damage level 100. This is just her daily routine. She screams at idiots and terrorizes the classroom until everyone is too terrified to even make eye contact. She runs this place like a dictator. The main character knows the secret though. He spots her hiding in the library, completely alone, letting tears drip onto her notebook. The Ice Queen is actually melting. She is frantically trying to tape her destroyed notes back together while sobbing. She looks clumsy and unrefined, stripping away that tough commander facade entirely. It is pathetic, but also kind of cute. To him, that vulnerability is absolute perfection. He stops hesitating and prepares to step right into the line of fire. Time to make his move. But his subconscious chooses violence. Abe crashes the fantasy, and Shirokusa is all over him, literally telling Maru to keep dreaming while clinging to his rival. He jolts awake, sweat pouring down his face, gasping for air like he just narrowly avoided getting sent to the lobby. The salt levels are critical. He cannot handle the thought of catching L's to that guy, even in the safety of his own sleep. Later at the club meeting, Tetsuhiko tries to organize the festival schedule like a responsible adult. It is cute that he tries, but Suharu is fully unhinged. He maps out a scheme to expose Abe's secrets and drag Kachi into the mud with him. We are talking absolute scorched earth tactics. Tetsuhiko ignores the toxicity. He pushes him to star in the class play, completely bypassing the drama. Suharu hits him with a hard no. He refuses to be the center of attention, mostly because his ego is shattered, so his bro tries a different persuasion method. He decides to reboot his brain with a physical strike. Violence is the language of friendship. He goes for the jugular, screaming that Suharu definitely got rejected. He really just said that out loud. The man freezes. He tries to cap and deny it, but the sweat pouring down his face does not lie. Tetsuhiko threatens to broadcast the loss to the entire campus. This triggers a threat to send him to the lobby immediately. Kuroha shuts them up with snacks, treating them like toddlers having a tantrum. She knows how to handle children. They take a break with popsicles, but the tension is thick enough to cut. It is awkward. Tetsuhiko reads the room. He realizes Suharu is useless right now and decides to head out. Shida laughs off the chaos, not realizing Suharu is about to get serious. He is about to lock in. Suharu starts cooking up a revenge plot. He pitches a scheme to expose Abe's dirty laundry. He thinks this is 4D chess. But Kuroha looks at him like he is stupid and instantly shuts him down. She warns him that going nuclear is just a double knockout where nobody wins. She tells him the ultimate revenge is actually just being happy. She stares into his soul and forces him to admit what he is actually thinking about. He cracks under the pressure. He admits he was fantasizing about Kachi confessing to him. He knows he is a clown for wanting revenge while still simping. Kuroha agrees. He is a massive idiot, but she feels his pain. So she drops a tactical nuke of a proposal. She suggests they pretend to be lovers. Suaheru's brain short-circuits since he literally just rejected her. But she explains the meta. If Kachi sees her backup plan get a girlfriend, it will destroy her ego. Suharu realizes this is the ultimate disrespect. He gets completely fired up at the thought of the humiliation. He tries to play the nice guy. He worries about Kuroha's reputation, but she brushes it off. She is way too confident to care about high school rumors. She drops a truth bomb. Even if it is a lie, she gets to date the guy she likes, so it is a win for her. She pushes him to be honest until he finally snaps from the embarrassment. They lock in the plan to destroy Kachi emotionally, but then Kuroha decides to stress test his resolve immediately. She suggests a tactical kiss to seal the deal. Suaharu reacts like he just swallowed a lemon. He tries to backpedal, but she goes on the offensive. She leans in and invades his personal space. She cranks the tension to 11. She tells him to just leave everything to Big Sister. He is terrified they will cross a line they cannot uncross. But she does not stop. She closes her eyes. She is going in for the kill, but Suharu folds. He panics. He bulldozes an innocent bystander and sprints away, yelling some nonsense about gathering intel. He slams the door and leaves Kuroha hanging. She can only sigh at the absolute fumble. What a waste. Suharu goes undercover, scouring the school for any dirt on his rival. He needs a scandal, and he needs it now. The strategy is to find the one crack in the armor and pry it open. But the intel is absolute trash. Every single student treats Abe like he walks on water. It is honestly disgusting how perfect he is. Even the girl he rejected claims he let her down gently. It is sickening. This guy is cleaner than a whistle, and that is suspicious. Suharu retreats to the courtyard, realizing he is competing against a literal main character. He feels like a side quest NPC right now. The jealousy boils over. He screams at the sky, refusing to accept that Shirokusa fell for this plastic perfection. But then, the devil speaks. Abe spawns right behind him, knowing exactly who has been sniffing around. Suharu tries to deflect, asking how a campus celebrity would even know a nobody like him. He is trying to bluff with a bad hand. Abe hits him with a twisted smile. He says he doesn't know him. He remembers him. That one word freezes Suaharu in place. He tries to play it cool and walk away, but the trap is already sprung. Abe drops the nuke. He reveals the secret identity right there in the hallway. The child acting prodigy, Maru Suaharu. His cover is completely blown. The legend was hiding in plain sight, and Abe just ripped the mask off. Suharu thought he was playing on stealth mode, but he gets wrecked immediately. Abe pulls up with the full dossier and exposes him as a former child prodigy. He starts listing off the resume like a fanboy, but the vibe is toxic. He knows exactly who Suharu used to be. Then he goes for the psychological crit. He looks him dead in the eye and asks why the legend quit acting 6 years ago. That question triggers a full system crash. Suaharu's brain floods with glitchy nightmares of cameras and laughing crowds. Suharu tries to bail, screaming denial, but Abe clamps a hand on his arm to cut off the escape route. Fight or flight kicks in. Suharu spins around and jacks Abe up by the collar, bunching the fabric tight and screaming for him to back off. But Abe just hits him with that psycho smirk. He admits he hates Suaharu. It is pure jealousy. He cannot stand seeing a genius waste the talent he wishes he had. Then he drops the nuke. Shirokusa was the snitch. Suaharu's internal monologue flatlines. She knew his secret the whole time and played dumb. Abe twists the knife, bragging that he researched Suaharu just to weaponize his crush against him. Absolute villain behavior. Suharu realizes the dating plot was just a setup to humiliate him, and Abe confirms it with zero shame. He winds up to send Abe to the dentist, but Abe plays the expulsion card, daring him to throw his life away over a punch. Before dipping, Abe drops the final ultimatum. He plans to publicly reconfess at the festival to lock Shirokusa down forever. He struts off like he owns the place, leaving Suaharu alone with a ticking clock and enough rage to bend steel. Suharu wasn't letting Abe walk away with the win. He marched back to the classroom and slammed his fist on the desk like a judge dropping the gavel. He knew the odds were trash, but his pride was on the line. He is getting on that stage even if it sends him to the lobby. Kai didn't even blink at the madness. He was all in. If they wanted to crush a pro actor, they couldn't just play fair. They had to drag him into the mud and beat him with experience. The tactical disadvantage was massive. Abe is a literal celebrity with fan armor. To steal the spotlight, they needed a script that was topical, hilarious, and completely unhinged. They needed a literary genius, but looking for talent in this high school was like looking for water in a desert. Then the sliding door clattered open. It was the solution walking on 2 legs. A nationally recognized award-winning author who just happened to be their classmate. She wasn't just a writer, she was the nuclear option. Suharu told Kai to go seal the deal, but his best friend froze. Apparently, Kai's reputation with the female population wasn't just bad, it was radioactive. Kai stepped up to prove he still had game. He barely opened his mouth before Sana tried to delete his skull with a dirty mop. He turned to the reserves, but they scattered like he was patient zero. The look on their faces wasn't just rejection, it was absolute disgust. Then came the boss battle. Kachi didn't just reject him, she stared into his soul and threatened to make his entire bloodline extinct. Suharu realized his friend was walking kryptonite. Kai tried to laugh it off, but you can't heal from that kind of emotional damage. Kai revealed his secret defense mechanism. He didn't care about the hate because he was currently dating 7 women from other schools at the same time. This man is a menace to society. Kuroha appeared out of nowhere like she sensed a disturbance in the force. The air around her wasn't just cold, it was hissing with jealousy. Suharu quickly tried to pivot. He started rambling about a master strategy to fix everything, trying to distract her from the obvious. Kuroha wasn't buying what he was selling. She reminded him that they were supposed to be partners, yet here he was, running off to ask her rival Kachi for favors. But then she dropped the real charges. He had ignored her text message all morning. That is the ultimate betrayal. Suharu panicked. He realized he was one wrong word away from a game over screen. He apologized profusely, barely managing to defuse the bomb. Kuroha kicks the classroom door down and announces their relationship status to the entire zip code. Maru's internal monologue screams in terror. He frantically tries to put a lid on it before the jealous mob eats him alive. He runs the strategy in his head. He needs Shirakusa to believe she was just a backup option, giving her a taste of her own medicine. But this timing is way too aggressive. It ruins the setup. Some goons try to press Maru in the hallway. They step up with bad intentions, but Kuroha intercepts them like a linebacker protecting the quarterback. She shifts her weight and blocks the path instantly. She clings to his arm and drops the ultimatum. If they want a piece of him, they have to go through the final boss first. She stares them down until they flinch. She hits them with the big sister protection promise. Maru instantly melts into a puddle of relief. Bro has zero shame. He accepts the carry without a second thought. The danger passes, but the cringe lingers. He is physically safe, but his dignity just took a critical hit. Game over for his self-respect. Kai gets bored of the stealth approach and chooses violence. He physically launches Suharu into the room because he thinks it looks fun. Suharu's brain is still buffering as he stumbles in, completely unprepared for the raid boss waiting inside. He hits the brakes just inches away from her. He tries to form a sentence, but she spins around with enough killing intent to freeze the server. She stares right through his soul and asks, "What do you want?" Suharu's soul disconnects from the lobby. His survival instincts are screaming at him to tactical retreat, and even Kai is yelling to abort the mission. But before he can dash away, her aura pins him in place. You do not turn your back on a boss of this level. Time for plan B, the tactical Dogiza. He slams his forehead into the floorboards with zero hesitation, apologizing for everything from global warming to his own existence. In his head, this is a genius strat. Total submission to confuse the enemy. Kachi just stares at the top of his head, wondering if he glitched out. She tries to question his sanity, but the atmosphere gets weirdly heavy. She realizes she is catching feelings, panics, and forces a hard reset on her emotions. "Forget it," she snaps. "Just tell me what you want before I leave." Classic deflection tactic. She drops the act for a second. Being a top-tier author means everyone wants to farm her for clout, and she is sick of it. But she respects the grind. She looks him dead in the eye and asks the million-dollar question. Is he actually going to play the game, or is he just wasting her runtime? Suharu does not flinch. He screams that he is ready to full send it. That is the green light she needed. She agrees to write the script, but there is a catch. She wants his phone number right now. The classroom chat goes wild. The untouchable Kachi Shirakusa is asking for digits? Suharu thinks he is the one begging, but she shuts that down instantly. She is the one making the demand. Massive flex. The hallway turns into a gossip mosh pit. Everyone is losing their minds over the Ice Queen finally melting. Suharu checks his phone, grinning like a complete NPC. He tells himself it is all part of his revenge plan, but let's be real, the man is down bad. The bell rings to save the scene. Kachi confirms the deal, and Kuroha has to physically drag him away before his ego gets too big for the doorframe. Suharu strutted off, fully convincing himself he is the main character of this anime, but he was totally blind to the boss music starting up right behind him. The atmosphere between the girls didn't just drop, it plummeted. The air turned instantly toxic. They traded a glare so vicious it probably violated the Geneva Convention. If looks could send you to the lobby, we would be rolling the credits right now.